Hello, my name is Paul Henry, Security and Forensic Analyst at Lumention. Welcome to our Patch Tuesday update for November 2010. One of the most important things to mention as we enter the busiest shopping season of the year is that, as expected, Microsoft did not release a patch for the recently discovered vulnerability in Microsoft Internet Explorer version 6, 7, and 8. Microsoft has provided a list of ways to mitigate the impact of this vulnerability that it has acknowledged is being actively exploited. Now, given today's lighter patch load, IT teams should review these workarounds, the options, for implementation within their organizations. With the busy online holiday shopping season just around the corner and users visiting a wide range of e-commerce websites, naturally on their lunch hour, of course, extra attention to this security bulletin is required. To wrap up this train of thought, buyer beware, no IE patch before the holiday shopping season. Now, looking at Microsoft for Patch Tuesday and their current release. Today, Microsoft released 3 patches that address 11 vulnerabilities in Microsoft Office and Microsoft Forefront Unified Access Gateway. This is a relatively light load when compared to last month's record release. However, this month's critical bulletin addresses some concerning vulnerabilities, and IT teams must remain diligent in getting this patch fully deployed. Looking at the details, the Microsoft Office Bulletin MS-10-087 is rated as critical and addresses 4 specific vulnerabilities, each earning Microsoft's highest exploitability index score. Now, each of the vulnerabilities appears to allow remote code execution attacks. Now, most importantly, this patch addresses a publicly disclosed critical vulnerability in Microsoft Office 2007 and Office 2010 known as DLL preloading and binary planting. This would be CVE 2010-3337. The patch also addresses an Outlook vulnerability that could allow remote code execution by viewing an RTF file within the preview pane. Now, Microsoft indicates that this patch is a top priority for this round of patches. Interestingly, this vulnerability is only rated as important for Office XP and Office 2003. Now, this really bucks the recent trend of critical vulnerabilities typically only appearing in older versions of Microsoft products, while newer releases were not directly impacted or affected and typically received a much lower rating. Now, there are numerous other patches outside of Microsoft this Patch Tuesday that are worth noting. Adobe, they released Flash Player 10.1.85.3 to address a 0-day vulnerability that also affects Adobe Reader and Adobe Acrobat. Now, patches for Reader and Acrobat are planned for release the week of November 15th, so we need to stay on top of that. Now, Mozilla recently released a new version of Firefox, version 3.6.12, and Firefox 3.5.15 to take care of a vulnerability that had been exploited by malware secretly planted on the Nobel Prize website. We also have a local privilege escalation vulnerability that could allow attackers to execute malicious code with root access rights that was recently published in the newly released Linux kernel 2.6.36. Now, with a lighter patch load from Microsoft this month, administrators should take the time perhaps to catch up and take a look at patches outside of the Microsoft realm, such as those from Adobe, Mozilla, and Linux. This has been our Patch Tuesday update for November 2010. Thank you for listening.